So welcome in this presentation where we are going to discuss about management of food laboratory activities, part two. So the previous video about food laboratory management activities was all about the introduction and a little bit of ISO standard 17025 2017. So now, this standard is all about the key regulations, and it discusses also the essential of this ISO 17025 standard and its crucial effective management tools as for good laboratory management activities. Okay, let's go into it. So now, as I said earlier, this video is all about the introduction of food laboratory management practices or codes that is encoded in ISO standard 17025 2017. Okay. Now, as a recap from the previous video, we discussed about the introduction of this standard, where we discussed a lot of aspects, including the scope, including the purpose, including the main points that we have to follow in order to implement successfully the standard. And of course, we discussed something related to accuracy and precision and how we can maximize our efforts to minimize the errors that are supposed to be either from random or non-random errors. Therefore, this standard is very, very important for people who are deemed in food laboratories in order to give accurate and reliable results to our clients or to our raw or finished products in order to send before we send the products to the market. Okay, like from the left side in this picture, you see people who are in the laboratory, food laboratories. You see like this is a microscope that is connected to the computer, and you see someone is taking measurements and someone is writing and another one is doing measurements, and you see the way the laboratory design is well designed. You see the like test tube or bottle lack. You see this thing where you can lack your bottles or test tubes, and you after cleaning your test tube, you see the board or cupboard where you have to keep your glassware. And you see from the right side also this lab, these people are conducting different testing food lab testing laboratories. You see the way, the neatness, the cleanliness, and even the ventilation, the lights, these boards, working bench or working tables, and the sink that is available to each and every station where they are conducting the test. You see that everything is well organized, and if someone wants to a stool to sit on, you see the lab is provided everything. So while they are about to audit and certify you the standard, they make sure that each and everything is in the right place. Please watch and learn. The picture says 1,000 words. Much will be said later. Now, about the overview of this ISO standard, this is an international standard that specifies the requirements for the competence of testing and calibration laboratories. It ensures laboratories operate effectively, consistently, produce varied results, and adhere to quality management principles, making it essential for food laboratories aiming for excellence in testing practices. Like you see, a lot of actors are acting towards the determination or measurements. They are taking measurements and they are recording too. Like this one is recording, and this one is also helping, and this one is taking the measurement, and they are collaborating so that to avoid error. So they are double checking. If one is taking measurement, another one is watching, another one is recording to make sure that each and everything is well recorded or measured according to the standard. Okay, no mistake. If people are double checking from one another, and they are confirming whether whatever you write is correct or whatever you are measuring is correct. So there is a lot to learn here, like team working. We have to adopt the culture of teamwork. Okay, team working will help us to excel in this standard. Okay, I think we can go. Now, about the importance of this standard is numerous. There are so many importance of this standard once it is implemented appropriately. From the first one, this standard ensures that we have accuracy, repeatability, or reliability of the results. Okay, accuracy and precision is likely to be a variable in our measurements or our data. Also, this standard help us to enhance laboratory credibility and reputation. The third one, which is the last but not the least, should be the to facilitate international recognition and trade promotion. Okay, so it is very very good to adopt this standard. Okay, regarding the accuracy and precision of that the standard will help us to get. Now, this ISO standard 19025 establishes rigorous requirements for testing and calibration laboratories, ensuring that results are consistent and precise. This is crucial for maintaining the integrity of food safety testing, where accurate results can impact public health. Remember, we are food producers, we are analysts, we are quality controllers, whatever. We make sure that whatever we are deemed to do, we do it in the right way so that people health or people lives are not being wasted or perished because of ignorance, because of misconduct and whatever. So we have to abide the rules. Okay, if we really enjoy the benefits of rule that should be governing us, let us follow this standard because the benefits are numerous. Okay. Now, also we say that the standard ISO 17025 enhances laboratory credibility and reputation. Of course, our brand will keep growing up as long as we keep employ or we keep adhering to this ISO standard. Now, most of the laboratories demonstrate their commitment to quality and professional standards once they adapt this ISO standard 17025. That is obvious, no question about it. So this enhances also their reputation among clients, regulatory bodies, fostering trust and collaboration within the food industry. Yeah. It also facilitates international recognition and trade promotion, as we've said. So there is not much to risk here, except that this standard also help us to implement some of the most important benchmarks that we get from clients, from tests, from continuous improvement as the standards suggest that every process, every measurement, there should be a room for continuous improvement. Okay, this leave the room to grow rather than to stack and say, I have reached where I wanted to go. Please, I'm at the highest peak. No, in that kind of argument, this standard does not cover you. Okay, we are always here to learn and adapt and improve. Yes. Okay, some of the also key regulations that governing food laboratories, not that also are in line with the standard, is that Food Safety Modernization Act is also well adopted. And we have also to remember good laboratory practices, analysis, critical control points like HACCP. It is also incorporated as well once we adapt this standard. These are the key regulations that govern food laboratories. You have to implement these three aspects of um, rules or in a general regulations. These FCMA and GLP and HACCP in short words or in abbreviation. Now, quality management system in food laboratories involves what and what? This is a structured approach to ensure accuracy and reliability in laboratory operations through effective quality management practices. Now, from bottom to up, we have monitoring and evaluation performance. Second, implementing standard operating procedures, which we often call SOPs. And the last, we establishing quality objectives. Okay. But the best thing where we can start from is, of course, to have objectives comes first. Then we implement SOPs to help achieve those objectives. The last, we do monitoring and evaluation, as well as record keeping and other documentation activities. Okay, but the first one is, of course, the objectives. Now, to establish quality objectives in this quality management system in food laboratories, it involves a lot of activities, including defining clear, measurable, and achievable quality goals aligned with laboratory standards and customer expectations. I hope each and everyone knows the difference between objective and goals. Okay? Implementing also standard operating procedures, the one to follow so that each and everything is replicated or is conducted in the right way. Okay. This involves creating and enforcing documented procedures to standardize processes and ensure consistency in testing and results. The third one is to monitor and evaluating performance, because if you had the objectives previously, in order to know whether you have achieved your objectives or goals, it's always better to measure the performance. Like if you might have some of the key performance indicators, you go ahead and look at them whether they are performing very well or they are not performing. Okay. This monitoring and evaluation of performance indicates regularly assessing laboratory performance against set objectives to identify areas for improvement and ensure compliance with ISO 17025. Okay. For competence requirements for testing laboratories, most of the people or most of industries, they should avoid hiring people who are not competent. Okay, or they show papers and they say we know how to operate this and we know how to do this, while practically they don't know anything. We should leave this practice or this ideology behind, because we have to hire someone who is competitively enough to handle the work or to do the work in a proper way. If someone knows, I know how to operate HPLC and I know how to operate AAS, atomic absorption spectroscopy, or any other sophisticated equipment, you should be able to handle or to operate the equipment without wasting the time, without wasting resources over employees that are not competent. And if it is found that some of your employees are not well equipped, please provide training for those employees. It's not a punishment to always raise claims that my employees, they are not competent, they are not capable, while you are not even investing resources in your employees. Okay. Now, qualified personnel with relevant expertises are needed to handle the most difficult work, or even from each and every activities that is involved in laboratory practices. In order to have quality, you need to employ people that are highly qualified, that they are dedicated to do the work. Otherwise, you will do the work by yourself. If you hire someone who does not know how to conduct measurements in a particular test, it's obvious that you will be the one to be accountable uh, in that scenario. Okay, if audit comes, you will be the one to held accountable. Okay. Now, disqualified personnel with relevant expertise is very, very important. Qualified personnel are essential for ensuring accurate and reliable test results in food laboratories. Staff should possess relevant degrees and certifications in food science or microbiology or related fields to effectively perform their roles. This is obvious. Let's go. Now, the other importance of document control is likely to be achieved once the standard is implemented. Document control is essential in food laboratories as it ensures that all documents are up to date and accessible, allowing personnel to work with the most current procedures and protocols. This process minimizes errors and maintains the integrity of the laboratory's operations. Like someone like we used to say, if no picture, nothing happened. Of course, I say here, if there is no record, nothing conducted or nothing's done. For me to convince me that you conduct this particular test, I need to see records at different time and dates. Please take notes. Another document control and record keeping involves also the shelves where you keep your documents and the security that no one can come and interfere or change some of your data, some of your recordings. It's very, very important. Now, the significance of record keeping is crucial for maintaining a comprehensive history of all laboratory activities and test results. It provides traceability, supports compliance during audits, and enables laboratories to demonstrate adherence to regulatory standards and internal procedures. Now, calibration and maintenance of equipment. This is where we get the most headache in laboratory management. Why? Because most of the time, if equipment or machine they are down or they are broken, it's very very difficult to fix them because little resources is put in many of the food laboratory activities or equipment. Now, as the managers, you need to make sure that your calibration or maintenance of equipment is well conducted on a regular basis, and the one who is in charge should be held accountable if different equipments are left for a long period of time without maintenance. So now this ensures the accuracy and reliability of the testing results through proper equipment handling. Okay, we've said that someone who is handling this equipment should be highly qualified and trained on a regular basis, and the equipment also are maintained and calibrated on a regular basis. If the equipment is always in use, it means it will need calibration or maintenance very often. Again, we have also to remember what we call preventive maintenance. Like if the equipment also is left there without working for a period of maybe 2 or 3 years, 5 years, without operating, so this equipment is going to get damaged. That's obvious. Regular calibration helps us to establish a routine schedule for calibration of all laboratory equipment to adhere to this ISO standard 17025. We have also, apart from regular calibration, we have good manufacturer guidelines compliance. We have to follow the guidelines that were listed in equipment manual that we have always to calibrate or maintain the equipment in this particular way. Now, comprehensive documentation, this one maintains the detailed records of all calibration and maintenance activities to support traceability and compliance. So we say this one, no need to repeat. Let's go. Now, for the internal audits and the continuous improvement, it's very, very important in order to know the areas of improvement or where to put strength or where to pour much resources or where to reduce some of the resources. Okay, in a good management, it is very, very important. And we should always remember to track the progress. Any management that does not involve checking progress, saying we came from this place and we are going to this place and we are here so that they can take the necessary decision, that management is questionable. Okay. Now, for quarter one, for example, this is an example of a well-structured approach to enhance laboratory performance and compliance through regular assessment. For example, in quarter one, back in 2023, initiated the first round of internal audits to assess compliance with ISO standard 17025 and identify gaps in laboratory practices. In quarter two, we identified key areas for improvement, focusing on documentation practices and equipment calibration protocols. In quarter three, we can discuss about implemented corrective actions based on audit findings and emphasizing training for personnel and updated to SOPs as we discussed a bit earlier that training is very, very crucial for you to have a good laboratory management skills or activities. Now, in quarter four, for example, back in 2023, it's an example. We monitored the effectiveness of implemented changes through flow-up audits and performance evaluations. Okay, we've said this one. We are not going to repeat it. Now, for what are some of the risks in management of food testing laboratories? Some risks are attached to. Effective risk management is crucial for ensuring the integrity and reliability of food testing results. Now, 70% of this risk in management of food testing laboratories, where do they come from? This 70% identify potential risk in food testing laboratories or in food testing processes. 70%. If we do take seriously risk management, we solve and identify potential risks in the food testing processes. 50% assess the impact and likelihood of the identified risks. 80% implement effective mitigation strategies to minimize those risks. Okay, this one we said it, no need to repeat. Now, some of the case studies of successful implementation of this ISO 17025, what could be? Look at the order, the organization, the neatness, the arrangement of each and everything. Look at the morale, the focus these people have toward their work. No distraction at all. But coming in Africa, you might have some people who are eating in the labs. They do not hang their SOPs on the wall or over the equipment that they are using. So it is pity that we can continue in that way. We should always wear PPE, personal protective equipment. If the equipment requires that you handle it with your nose mask and a well-dressed rub coat and as well as gloves or safety goggles, you have also to abide the rule. The rule. Like this lady also shows supposed to just to attach the hair so that the hair is attached or crossed to towards the head so that nothing no accident from the head can appear. Okay, like these two ladies did. Yeah. Now, this slide represents real-world example of food laboratories that have effectively adopted the ISO 17025 standards. Each case illustrates the specific challenges these laboratories faced during implementation and the achievements they gained through compliance, showcasing best practices in laboratory management and quality assurance. Just look at them. Like these people, they are somehow not organized toward the work. They are moving toward each other. They do not attach their hair. But coming to this picture, you see that there are changes that have been made. Okay, now the man is concentrated in his work, as well as for the rest of these ladies. Look at the previous before training or before implementation of this ISO 17025. No nose mask. They were just rushing. No one is focusing on his or her job or her duties. But now you see that the quality has arisen. Now, in the future of food laboratory management involves commitment to continuous improvement, ensuring compliance with ISO 17025 standard, and adapting to evolving regulatory frameworks. Emphasizing quality management system, effective training, and risk management will be essential in enhancing laboratory performance and maintaining credibility in food testing. This one was said by an expert in future direction in food laboratory management. Thank you for your kind of attention. Time for questions and answers. Thank you.